talking about hot tea, there were three couples. I'm starting the sermon now. There were three couples sitting down to have hot tea. As they sat around this table, a sweet wife turned to the husband and said, "Pass me the honey, honey." They were sweet like honey. A refined gentleman from one of the other couples called to his wife and said, "Pass me the sugar." Sugar? They must have been from the south, right? They were very refined, like sugar. In fact, they made sure that people knew that. Then the third, not wanting to be outdone, claiming to be healthy looking and healthy inclined, looked over the table proudly and said to the spouse, "Could you pass me the milk?" Everyone waited in anticipation to see what he was going to say. So clearing his throat, "Pass me the milk, cow." Pass me the milk, cow. Okay, the moral of the story. Whether you are sweet, refined, or health conscious, you are not what you eat, but what comes out of your mouth. Pass me the milk, cow. What comes out of our mouth makes us either sweet, refined, or healthy. Jesus said to the ordinary folks after having this deep conversation with the hypocrites, as he calls them later, the Pharisees and the scribes, he says to the ordinary folks, "Go and eat what you want, when you want it, where you want it, how you want it. Go and eat what you want. Because it is not what goes into the mouth that makes you unclean, but what comes out." It is from the heart that evil intentions come, and that defiles the body. That's what Jesus says. Not what goes in, what comes out from the heart. Now, like you just heard, he said this because the Pharisees and the scribes, the religious bigots, had challenged him, saying that his disciples did not wash their hands, and so there was something wrong with that. Our tradition, the elders, the ancestors, the fathers, the mothers that came before us, determined what our tradition should be. But your disciples don't follow them. There's something wrong with that. We have a lot of customs and practices handed to us. I know someone who always used to go to the sink when he came home, the sink, and he would grab the soap and wash his hands all the way to his elbows, wash his arms. He did it because his mother told him to do it. For all I know, it was his mother's mother that told him to do it. Then his grandson still does it. He lives with us. My son. So, we have traditions that we take with us, and there's nothing wrong with that. Okay? As long as you don't insist that everyone else follows it and says that you're not cultured. because you don't wash your hands all the way up to your elbows. And that's not what we were told. That's what worked for them. So when we insist that others follow it, then that's where the problem comes. Okay? Stay with me. It seems like that is what the Pharisees and the scribes were saying in order to determine whether the disciples of Jesus were authentic or not. There's something wrong with this Jesus, because these disciples don't follow the tradition, the practices. When culture and practices become one with religion, then there's a huge problem. It's a problem that we have all over the world. And we notice it in this country, like we notice it in other countries. Now, when the culture is imposed on religion, then the lines are totally blurred. Because then we don't know really what we believe. Because we begin to define what we believe based on what our forebears taught us. Our forefathers and foremothers, and the way we were brought up. So many people make reference to what they had heard from their parents and their grandparents to say this is what we believe, rather than pointing to what the gospel says, what the Bible says. In fact, we're even walking on thin ice when we say this is what the forefathers and foremothers of the church said. Because sometimes even that is just a practice. You need to distinguish between what is central things and what is peripheral. There's absolutely nothing wrong. In fact, it's a good practice to wash your hands before you eat. But that is peripheral. And when that comes into the church, we have problems. It becomes an obstacle. It's like saying today, we have not worshipped unless we have said the Lord's Prayer or the Creed. Yeah? Some of you are saying, yes, of course. I hope you're not. There was a church I served and inadvertently skipped over the Lord's Prayer. And someone came to me after the service and said, Pastor, I felt like the service was not complete today. I said, I'm sorry, I actually just skipped over it by mistake. And believe it or not, the audacity of it, well, you could have put it anywhere as long as we said it. This is what I was told. True story. Let's not talk about the vestments. That's why I didn't put any vestment on today. I was even considering whether I should put this shirt on or this cross. Don't get me wrong, I love the vestments. The point I'm trying to make is, when that becomes what defines whether we had church or not, then we've missed the point. And that's what they were doing. It's interesting that's those same people who complained. This is a church that's now closed down, so I can speak of it. You know why it closed down. The same church that complained about vestments and whether I missed out the creed or the Lord's Prayer. It was those very same people. I wouldn't say that whole church. It was those very same people who said when more poor and broken people living with poverty or addiction started to come to the church, they said to me, "Oh, Pastor, you cannot have those people come to church on Sundays. Pastor, you cannot have those people come to church on Sundays. Then we'll have to hold on to our bags." True story. Yeah, I know. Some of us want to swear. Jesus said to them, "You hypocrites, honor God with your lips, knowing the right words, knowing the right clothes, knowing when to bow and when to stand, but your hearts are far from me." And the guilty party is culture and practice. It's bad enough when it's imposed on the church, and the thing about that is we have times like this when people who are called by God to break down the word can tell, can share. The Lord hits me between the eyes, and I hope that I hit you between the eyes, in a good way. But when it's imposed on society, then it becomes an even bigger problem, because that's what I said over and over. Society has begun to define what religion is. Society affects, society influences the church. How many of you know Garrison Keillor? Yeah? Prairie Home Companion. Prairie Home Companion? Yeah. NPR, right?
Yeah.
Big thing. I think he stopped now. I was in a gathering in Minnesota once. It was a very diverse gathering. People of various race groups, people of various religious Christian traditions, people of different cultures. And the gathering was about, the topic was transformation. Religious and cultural transformation, societal transformation. And the presenter, I don't know how this fitted, but the presenter asked, because she was so passionate about this, she was trying to quote something that Garrison Keillor had said. And she said, "Do you know Garrison Keillor? This is what he said." And everyone looked at her, most people in the room looked at her with confusion. He said, "You don't know who's," she said, "You don't know who's Garrison Keillor?" And they said, "No." "It's an American tradition." "And you don't know Garrison Keillor?" I'm sure some of you see the irony in that. I just put it down to this is how liberals think, but let me not go down that dark path. It was Minnesota. Minnesota nice, and we couldn't say too much. Is it part of American culture? There are two things wrong with that kind of approach. For one, Garrison Keillor was quoted as an architect of American culture. Isn't it true? And then the second thing is that the gathering, the audience, was being judged because they did not know about it, and therefore they did not fit in. I don't remember who put Garrison Keillor into the charter of the founders. We, the people who know about Garrison Keillor. And if you don't know, then you should be put to death. Because you've committed a treasonous act. It's funny, but it happens today in different ways. Cultural practices determine our values, whether religious or just sound human societal values. And then the just foundations of the society take a back bench. Are we all created equal? That's what it says in our founding documents in this country. And that has become because of culture and because of the way many of us have been brought up. Yes, everyone is equal if they are male. Yeah, can I get an amen?
Some are more equal than others.
All are created equal becomes, if they are of a certain complexion or race, then you are equal. If they speak English, then they are equal. This is what was happening at that time. Even that time. They were appealing to a standard that was outside of the central things. And Jesus called the crowd aside and said, it was like it was as if he was saying, forget about those intellectuals, forget about those who claim to own the truth about our religion. Forget about those who claim that they will determine the essence of what you should believe. Come aside and I'm going to tell you. This is what it is. Eat whatever you want, because that does not determine who you are. Eat however you want. Hey, put your hands in the dust. Put your hands in the dust, and then come, and if you're hungry, you rather eat. But make sure when you go out, you say things that build up, things that not break down, things that restore, and things that, that serve people. Not things that make people feel like they're not good enough because they don't know how to wash their hands all the way up to their elbows. May God grant us grace that we may not fall prey to the hypocrisy that so easily ensnares. Just simply because we think we are doing the right thing, but we've been influenced by the enemy. I'm going to say it because we haven't stuck with the fundamentals of what we were taught. And so, as the Old Testament reading said, teach this to your children and to your children's children. Not how you should wash your hands, but teach them about how I walked with you through the time that I am your salvation. And that, coming to the New Testament, everyone who believes in me will not perish, but have everlasting life. And those that believe in me, I will come into them and dwell with them, and out of them will flow rivers of living water. Out of them will flow the gifts of the Spirit. Out of them will flow life, even as I have given it to you. Amen.